Okay, everybody. Here we are. The final stream of 2025 for me. The final anything of 2025 for me. Because after this, I have to compile some things for a friend of mine and also have to watch the finale of Stranger Things and the new episode of Percy Jackson because I got my priorities straight. Um, when are we getting the next Dropskate challenge? I gave you guys the Dropskate challenge. So tomorrow, unless this will be very interesting. Well, this will be very interesting. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, no, it is not finished yet. Yeah, some of y'all already in 2026, which is pretty nuts. But Hawaii is like literally like one of the last 2 or 3 time zones to get the new year. So kind of wild. Cheers to Super Ninja Kids 2026. It is happening. They announced that it was happening like a long time ago. So, you know. But today we are doing 2 more lists. One of them is the ranking that you all came here for, the ranking of all of the ninja shows of 2025. The second one, I've decided to add a little awards show. So giving superlatives, different, awards for different accolades and accomplishments that some of the shows have pulled off this year. I think it'd be fun. If you guys like it, I'll do more of it. And if not, I'm just going to not do it and leave it in 2025. Let's travel from New Zealand to Hawaii on the 31st to be in 2025 for the longest time. I'm dead. That would be funny. That would be good. But you a broke boy, and so am I right now. That's Barbados is helping out in that regard. Gosh, here we go. Let's oh, did I all right, cool. Bang! We've got the stream up. You should have the slideshow up. I'm just double checking. Yes, you do. I just had to make sure everything was good visually. And now we're at that part where we get to go over what the best shows of 2025 were. Isn't there something else that you need to do besides those 2? What do you mean? No, Evan, I'm not editing that one. I mean, I don't need to urgently edit that one, if that's what you're referring to. We have to plan the first one that's going to be edited. We'll reveal that later. Maybe not this stream. Probably not this stream. Maybe we make like a more formal announcement. But yeah. New Zealand is already in 2026. I'm dead. Oh, that's true because Australia is there, huh? Okay. Let me put the chat centered here so I can read the chat and everything. Discord DMs, bro. What's going on? Oh, hello. No, Evan is so right. Evan is so right. Okay, I thought we were talking about the other thing. We are in fact talking about this package that has my literal address on the backside of this. Evan got me a Christmas present right here, and I have literally been like, I'm gonna open it on stream. I'm gonna open it on stream. It has been like 3 streams later, and I haven't freaking opened it. So now is the best time to do this. All right, shout out Evan from TSN. Yeah, rip that package open. All right, so inside is a nice little box. It says "Joy to the World." Look at that. We got an unboxing stream going on. My gosh, can we? Oh, there's tape on it. That's why I was like, why isn't this opening? There's tape. Okay, take the tape off. Oh, okay. Okay, there's a paper in here. To Kane, thank you for... Actually, should I read this out loud? Yes. Yes, okay. Thank you for everything you've done for me in the community, whether it be encouraging me to continue to push myself in Ninja or hosting me for a week in North Carolina. You and Sasha have always been very good to me over the past couple of years. Here's to more years of Ninja. Thank you again for everything and have a Merry Christmas from Evan. Shout out Evan, the absolute homie. And it comes with, oh, there's cotton on it because they use cotton for the padding. It comes with this nice little chain. Says Kane right there. Says Ninja on it. It's a warped wall, obviously. And then on the back side, we got me doing rings, or a person doing rings. I guess it's not specifically me, but he's doing rings. So thank you, Evan. He let me pick out the color on this one and all that good stuff. And I figured blue and white, which are very much the hurricane colors. So I appreciate that. Speaking of blue and white, well, also, actually, we'll just do a full-on fit check, okay? Besides the headphones. We got an Ethan Gardulski shirt, courtesy of when I was on set with him. I got to wear it on his sideline. And then my pants were another Christmas gift. I don't know if you guys can see this. They are of my cat, Calypso. I freaking love these pants. They are amazing. I'm just going to stand up real quick so you can see. I love these pants. They are great. These pants are so comfortable, and because I'm still, sick and stuff, because I'm still sick and stuff, I wear them quite a bit, just to stay comfortable and warm. Yeah. They're so nice, dude. They're so comfy. Oh my gosh, let me fix the camera real quick. It's not exactly in the spot I want it to be. Okay. Yeah, we can live with that. Yeah, shout out James for making me this. Thank you, Evan. All right. With that said, show ranking time. Here we go. Time to rank the Ninja Warrior shows. Just a reminder, this ranking will include not just the last episodes. We did that in the finale ranking stream last stream, so yesterday. This ranking factors in all episodes, including qualifiers and semifinals. We do not include specials in this ranking. It has to be an episode that contributes something to the regular season. Behind the scenes scandals kind of do affect the rankings here, but case in point, there was a whole rigging thing in season 8 of Ninja Warrior France 2 years ago on the final stage. I didn't really knock France down too much. I think France was still my #1 show of the year because it was just peak entertainment. So it really depends on how severe is the scandal and how entertaining was the product. So I hope that makes sense. And remember, this is my opinion, so it's subjective. A lot of people like to take my opinion as fact in the community when it comes to International Ninja, because I'm one of 4 people that actively watches everything. The whole point of this is not for me to tell you guys, watch this one, don't watch this one, this one's good, so watch it, this one's bad, so watch it. It's more of a, how would I recommend it to you? I want you guys to watch it. All of this stuff is on the vaults. It is free and available for you guys to watch, thanks to myself and Billy and Bonzu and John, and we're pretty much the only 4 doing anything in the vault right now. So thanks to us 4, you can watch any and all of the shows that are on this ranking. And if you're curious about it, or you didn't know that this show existed, or you hear something about the format and you want to see it for yourself, please take the time to watch it, form your own opinion, learn a little bit more about Ninja. That's the whole point of these, It's meant to be fun like that, With that said, something has to be last. There were 13 Ninja Warrior shows aired from beginning to end in 2025, and number 13 is none other than Ninja Warrior Poland Season 10. I left this one blank from the finale stream because I really don't have anything positive to say about it. I will now expand on the negative points that I made in the finale stream because there's more cons than anything else. This is one of the all-time worst seasons of Ninja Warrior ever worldwide, in my opinion. Like, it's almost, we're almost hitting Mongolia levels of bad. Almost. So essentially, the cons, the results suck because the Polish competitors were not ready for speed. They are not speed athletes. They are not really necessarily good at ninja. They were failing spring forward, close together, and ring toss in season 9 and season 8 and previous seasons, and it was like that we're talking they're failing ANW 5 obstacles and ANW 6 and ANW 7 and ANW 8. Like, what are we doing here? So no, putting them on a race course was a terrible idea. They went with this really bad blue and pink color scheme, which is what Super Ninja Kids uses. But the difference between Super Ninja Kids and this one is the lighting. And the lighting on Super Ninja Kids is so much better to where that one actually looks gorgeous as a set. But Ninja Warrior Poland 10, there was terrible lighting, terrible camera angles, and it just made the whole thing look like an eyesore, which made it literally physically hard to watch. So that was a bit tough. The format was also very confusing. I'm not even going to try to explain it to you guys right now. You know what? Yeah, no, I'm just not. I'm just not. You know, no, I should. I am obligated to do so as the YouTuber guy. Pretty much qualifiers. They were seeded first versus second, third versus fourth. It was really dumb. They raced each other. The winners. Actually, you didn't. Losing a race there didn't mean anything. But if you lost the second race, then you got eliminated, and the winners moved on to the finals or the semifinals, and then the semifinalists race. And there were people who ran the qualifiers in a seeding round, and if you were the fastest in the seeding round, you would get to skip the qualifiers and just race in the semifinals. So you would basically only have to race one time while everyone else would have to race 3 times in order to make it to the finals. And then you race on round, I'm going to call it round 1 because it's not stage 1. Oh my gosh. You race on the qualifier course. And then if you win, you race on the semifinal course. And if you win, you have to race both back to back. And if you win those, the combined time of the 2 course runs, then you're put in a, you're with 5 people left, and the 2 fastest times of those 5 winners climb a 30-foot rope to determine the winner. Wow, that was a little easier than I thought it would be. And if it sounded confusing to you, I did as best as I could. I promise. It's just not a good show. It's not enjoyable. The results are not good. And the best competitors, because they were the fastest in the seeding round, you only get them in the semifinals and the finals, which is very little time of the episodes, and you're mainly just watching people suck for a lot of the time. So, dead last, Ninja Warrior Poland 10. I wouldn't be surprised if I would put this like bottom 10 seasons of Ninja Warrior all time. Like all time. It's that bad. Number 12 is Super Ninja Kids Season 2. This was last place last year, so the fact that it's not last place this year already says a lot. They actually did make genuine improvements from Season 1. For one, there were less kids that cried, and I think overall the kids knew this time what they were getting into. The parents knew what the kids were going to get into. Yeah, it's just like the kids knew more about what to expect, I guess. So there was a lot less tears. I think some of the tears were actually justified this time around, whereas last year it was just kids crying because they lost, and that was getting annoying really quickly. They changed the format, so instead of being A&W Junior, because that was the format of Season 1, they just made it the format of regular Super Ninja, and that's significantly better. It was an individual course. It was an individual season. Results mattered about the kids as individuals. It was just much better. And because of that, they designed the courses with a bit more care because they knew it was not made for racing. And so they could kind of get bigger and better with their obstacles. So overall, you know, it was on paper already more enjoyable than season 1, and it delivered on being more enjoyable than season 1, but the bar's still at the floor for that. So in terms of cons, just because the kids weren't crying doesn't mean that they were always performing well. A lot of the results were not great. Enough with the 6-7s in my chat, please. There were some very obvious edits of who was going to win or get second place or just make the super final in general. If you paid attention throughout the season, you don't even need to really watch with subtitles. You could just be like, oh, this kid's getting a lot of screen time. They're probably going to make it very far this season. And sure enough, that person would win or something. Some specific obstacles were too difficult for the age divisions. They had like a rotating cliffhanger box, and it's a really cool obstacle, but not something that I would give to like 11 and 12-year-olds, you know? Yeah, that was tough. So, it's just some of those obstacles, that kind of pairs up with the subpar results points. They kind of group together because the obstacles were made too difficult. Subpar results. Rolling Log took out a lot of kids, bro. Rolling Log was like on demon time. It was pretty nuts, actually. It was actually crazy. And then the fluff pieces were still really long. If you guys think that A&W's fluff pieces are long, like Super Ninjas nearly doubles that every single episode. It's actually insane. I think if you're just looking for obstacles and stuff, please, I think you'd be fine watching this show if you fast forward through the fluff pieces, because it's actually crazy. They literally did a fluff piece on how they love the motherland, which I'm like, so is this whole profile just about raising a little commie? Like, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, number 11 is Ninja Warrior Kids Academy, which is Germany's new kids show. Some pros, the kids definitely had a great time. They were treated well, and they were all very good at ninja. All 12 of them. They picked some very high talented kids. There was some ninja content. There were challenges that the kids had to do that were actually on ninja courses. One of the challenges ended in a salmon ladder. There was some where it was just like linking through stuff. There was one where they were just playing around on the set of Ninja Warrior Germany on the actual course. And like, that's cool that it's actual ninja stuff. They also go behind the scenes a little bit. They talk about like course design, filling up the pools, safety testing, all this other stuff. And you know, that type of insight, it really does fascinate me. It makes me excited because I like learning about the different aspects of ninja. And then other stars from the show did appear. You had 4 ninjas as the coaches for each team of kids. And then you had special guests, Renee Cassidy and Nicola Wolf, show up to like host a fun little challenge for them. That was one of the ninja related challenges. And I think I've just summarized out of the like 200 minutes of this show, I think I've just summarized about 20 minutes of it. Yeah, that's why it's this low. 20 good minutes of like, not 20, maybe 35, 40. Yeah, something like that. Not a lot of time was actually good on this show. There were horrible events. When we talk about like the Sasuke trials having dodgeball guys, like dodgeball's not very good at determining who gets on Sasuke. A good ninja event is not race each other through a ropes course. It's not run a relay race on an inflatable water bouncy house obstacle course. Like, that's literally those two things had entire episodes. There was an episode of how many times can you guys walk back and forth across a slack line. There was another episode where it was who can stand on a stand-up paddleboard and swim back and forth on it and paddle back and forth on it the most, or like 3 laps the fastest. It was like so not ninja. It's not. It does kind of sound like Dude Perfect videos. Yeah, Billy, kind of, sorta. It just wasn't ninja at all. At the end of every episode, they gave one boy and one girl a gold star, and then a team got a gold star. Now, the team gold stars were for who wins challenges. They got to give a time advantage in the finale, so that kind of made sense as to why those gold stars existed. The individual gold stars that everyone got was literally just so they could like embroider gold stars on a salmon ladder bar that they're just giving all of the kids as a gift, as like a souvenir. That's so dumb. You made the gold stars a whole plot device throughout the whole season just for it to be a decoration on a bar. Like, that's stupid. There were 2.5 filler episodes, and that includes meaningless challenges. There was an episode where literally they learned how to indoor surf, on like the generated wave. They learned how to do that, and there was no challenge for it. There was no team gold star. It was just them playing around in a surf pool, just to play around in a surf pool. Like, literally, they literally was like, there is no consequence, there is no winner or loser to this. We just want you guys to have fun, which is great for them. You didn't need to make it a whole episode. It was so dumb. The episode where they're trying out the actual Ninja Warrior Germany course, it's cool, but they're all just kind of playing around on it just to like get a feel for the obstacles. I don't really want to see someone practice obstacles. I already do that in open gym. It's just like, it's fine because it's the show's course. It's one of those things where like, save it for like a YouTube live stream, not like an episode of TV. It just, yeah. And then no, it's just really dumb. They did a whole thing where they like brought the salmon ladder in, and they spent about 15 minutes playing on the salmon ladder just to play on the salmon ladder, and they decided, let's film that. It did absolutely nothing. It was dumb. And then they declared the winner stupidly. I'm not going to rehash that. I've gone over it, I think, twice now on the Germany stream and on the finale stream from yesterday. So it was really dumb how they determined a winner. Number 10, kicking off our top 10, is Super Ninja 4. Guys, if you were glazing Super Ninja 4, please stop. Just stop. There's some good pros here, right? This is the year of like international ninja crossovers. And Super Ninja definitely did that. International representation was awesome. The whole point was that German competitor Ole Yannick won season 3 last year, and the Russians wanted to take the title back. And that was kind of the theme throughout the season. And that part actually did work for me. And there were also some really cool courses. They made some very cool courses. And they show different looks at different perspectives of how a show runs. They show a lot about the hosts. They showed the medics when it was needed. But my favorite part about the show, besides the actual competitors running the course, is the judges. The people who are on the sidelines to determine what's a DQ and what isn't. They show them. Like, they're like characters. They have like big parts of it, like in the show. It constantly cuts to them on the sideline evaluating what rules are broken or not being broken, or what techniques are being used and not being used. They're not just the judges, but sometimes they'll coach and they'll shout advice to people on obstacles that are being failed a lot, so that way they can see success happen on the course. They offer a perspective to ninja shows that no other show offers, and that's really genuinely something exciting for me as someone who wants to see different aspects of ninja. I think that's actually a very intriguing angle to take, because not only were they the judges, but they were the course designers and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, very cool stuff. However, the bad definitely outweighs the good here. Unfortunately, out of 175 athletes that were cast for this season, only 4 of them beat the qualifiers. 7 episodes just to watch 4 people clear the qualifiers. It was really rough. A lot of people failed the first 2 obstacles repeatedly, and it really made for some bad editing and bad pacing, on top of the fluff pieces being very long as well. They're just very long fluff pieces. So I can't glaze it too much. If the results were better, I totally would. I genuinely think if the results were better, I'd put this in the top 3 maybe. But because the results were this bad, this consistently, yeah, it was just not great. This is the first season this is the first season besides season 1 that did not have Yuri on the hosting team. He on the course design team. He helped with seasons 2 and 3. He helped with both of the kids' seasons. I don't know if Yuri is the difference maker. He might be. He very well might be. You might be onto something there, Topaz. Um, I do want to ask him about that. I guess I could. I do have his phone number. Yeah, I could text him about it. Um, but the host pissed me off this year. So essentially, there were some controversies about whether or not the certain competitors that were running, should be DQ'd or not. And honestly, the rules are outlined very clear. The judges, again, the judges who are you're cutting to the sideline of the course design team, they have a physical rule book that you see them flipping through and they're debating it and they're talking about it and they'll make their decision from there. DQ, not a DQ, continue from this spot, whatever else, right? Obstacle malfunction, we'll fix it. You just stay warm and we'll get you right back up. Your timer will resume from there. Like they're super on it and fair. But if the host disagreed with a decision that the judges made, the hosts made it their job to tell the judges that they were wrong. And they literally started, like, the entire premiere was the judges and the host arguing over something that the judges were not going to change their mind on. And frankly, the judges made the correct decision. The hosts were just yapping because they wanted to see more stuff. They were kind of like this in episode 2, but especially in the premiere, it pissed me off really bad. It was so frustrating to see the host try to tell the judges how to do their job. Like, they're not telling you how to do commentary. That was really disrespectful. And like, even the comments on the YouTube videos of the episodes, they're backing me up. They're like, the host should not be interjecting this much. They should not be interrupting the flow of the episode to like air out their grievances. They should save that for after the episode's done. And that's 100% valid. I 100% agree with that. It really did like make me upset. And because the hosts realized that the judges weren't going to budge on any of their decisions, they went on to kind of just complain for the next couple of episodes. And they would go on to say that this course is impossible. This course is impossible and it's never going to happen. No one's going to beat it. And it's so dumb. I hate that word in Ninja, impossible. Nothing in Ninja is impossible. There are just things that are significantly harder than others. And I hate when impossible is used because unless literal physics and literal science is saying, no, this is not possible, then nothing in Ninja is impossible, you know? There are absolutely times where people make obstacles that are not possible when it comes to the laws of physics, right? And that makes sense. If you want to call that impossible, that is factually correct. But if you're calling something impossible because it's just really difficult, I need you to just shut up. I need you to just stop talking. These hosts did that all the time and it made me very upset. But this is also something that I see parents do when their kids fail gym competitions or worlds repeatedly. This is something I see everyday average fans of Ninja who don't really know obstacles like that. That's what they'll say. And like for them, I can understand it. I give a bit more grace because there's like a lack of knowledge that they have. But if you have knowledge of Ninja and you've been exposed to Ninja and you're still calling things impossible, you really have just learned nothing from the sport. Genuinely. Counterpoint Ninja Gamer. Oh, next year. I was gonna say Counterpoint Hanzo exists, but I didn't read next year. It's just like, yeah. Imagine Matt Bradley beefing with us on stage 2 at Worlds after the last obstacle beta break. Yo, that'd be so bad, and we would have been in the wrong. Like, no, it pissed me off. So, genuinely, I genuinely think the host tanked Super Ninja from like the 7th or 8th spot to the 10th place spot because they made me that upset. And I made sure to watch every episode with subtitles. All of these episodes, if they had subtitles, any show, I watch them with subtitles, translated into English. Obviously, translations aren't perfect, but I get a good picture of what's happening. So that's number 10. Number 9 is Ninja Warrior Poland Season 11. I'm glad that the internationals came into this season. It led to better results overall. The Polish competitors also did step up because Season 10 was filmed back-to-back with Season 9. Season 9 was the 4-stage Midoriyama format, and then they switched to racing. So the Polish competitors were prepared for the stages, not races. This season, they were prepared for races, and it showed. The results were overall better. Um, Number one Clement Grazer on your screen right now. You're not wrong. It's still number 9. The courses changed their color scheme from that ugly blue and pink to blue and red that you would see on like ANW or France. It was just much more aesthetically pleasing and much better to look at. They used graphics to explain the format a lot better than they did in season 10, which made it just easier to follow this season. And they brought back the Speed Pass. And the Speed Pass, I think, was a very good addition to this format. It's a good way to incorporate more races that are unique and different, because the courses do get repetitive. Unfortunately, their way of doing speed passes was the power tower, and the power tower injured quite a couple of people, and it caused a lawsuit. For those who don't know, Albert Lorenz, he fell off the power tower about 40 feet. There was not enough padding off the edge of the power tower. He injured his spine. He went into surgery. He was almost paralyzed. And Polsat, the network, did absolutely barely anything to pay for any of the medical stuff that their contract outlined. So they're suing, and the network's trying to sweep it under the rug. And it's really stupid. I agree, Ninja Gamer. They were getting a lot better, and now they're just back to being one of the worst ninja shows. The Polish ninjas overall still weren't great, but they were better than previous seasons. And there's about, again, like maybe 6 to 8 Polish ninjas that genuinely had a shot at making it far this season. Again, if you know International Ninja, you're not surprised that the final 2 were Clement Gravier and Sam Folsom. Like, as soon as Sam Folsom was put on that course, everyone was like, oh, crap, he's going to win. And the only reason I think Sam Folsom didn't win is because it was a rope climb, and Clement's just cracked at rope climbs. So, did I get called for ANW 18? Unfortunately, no. I really wish I did. I'm still applying for season 19. If I don't get on season 19, it'll be a bummer. But ultimately, I think I have a better story for seasons 19 and onward. I really want to get on season 20, the 20th anniversary. I think that'd be a really cool one to be on. You know, spend some time there. Yeah. When is my RNW comp? I don't have one. You talking about the TSN one? I don't know. The editor never edited it, and TSN just kind of gave up on it. So, oh well. So that is number 9. Number 8 is Ninja Warrior Germany Season 10. I think this one actually stayed in the same spot as the finales. So, some pros here. There's some really solid episodes. I overall really liked the qualifiers. I don't think that they were anything special, but I don't think that they were anything offensively bad. I enjoyed the qualifiers for what they were. I think they picked decent obstacles throughout the entirety of the season, actually, until the finale. But I think their qualifiers and semis, they picked good courses. What happened on those courses is a bit of a different story. We'll talk about that in a second. The stage 1 episode, I think, was very solid overall. 40 runs or so of really, really good talent, good results, variance in results. So, you know, yeah, overall, not too upset about it. No, Topaz, that's not why. It's definitely not why. I know exactly why. We'll talk about that when we get to ANW. The anniversary round of Germany 10 is, and I need us to, because we like to glaze things that are good for a little bit. Like, if someone has a good opinion, suddenly it's good. If someone has a bad opinion on something, it's bad. Things are good and bad in every season of Ninja. Germany 10 had an anniversary round after the qualifiers and before the semis. It was essentially almost a burnout course. It was like every obstacle was a hanging and grip based obstacle, right? There were 3 rest stations. You did about 3 obstacles and rest. 3 obstacles and rest. 3 obstacles and rest. And the top 10 advanced to stage 1. The top 10 clears, right? Top 10 on the leaderboard, whatever it was. And it was a really good episode. I'm not going to lie. They wasted 0 time on the profiles. The course itself was really well designed, I think, for a burnout, like a burnout, whatever. It was actually a very, very good episode. Um, yeah, and it's grippy stuff. It's endurance stuff. I'm a big fan of endurance. I love stage threes. I love burnouts. It's like my favorite style of courses. So an entire episode of that with the best ninjas from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Hungary, whatever. It was really exciting. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I would go as far as to say, I would go as far as to say that the anniversary round of Ninja Warrior Germany 10 is potentially my favorite Ninja Warrior episode of 2025. Episode. So, yeah. Quick rapid fire in the chat because I got a lot of questions. SpongeBob, you don't have to ask for rights to make a Ninja Warrior Roblox thing. So many people do it. Just go for it, man. It'd be great. Sasuke 17 is carried by Nagano's winning the top 3. False. False, 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 false. Although Log Slope, I can't really defend Log Slope too much. Hi, Kareem. Yes, I am ready for 2026. Ready for Kane's Barbados arc. Yo, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. So with that said, anyways, Germany 10. I really did enjoy the anniversary episode. It's one of my favorites of the year. Definitely top 3 of the year. Debatably first. The cons, stage 3 was awful. It was atrocious. They took all of the stage 3 obstacles and put it on the anniversary episode. And because of that, stage 3 was just a bunch of slop. The first semifinals was a good course, but sideways was the second obstacle, and apparently it was very slippery. So a lot of people were failing sideways, and it just led to anticlimactic results. That wasn't great. The last episode had 15 runs in a 2-hour episode in 10 minute. Yeah, 2-hour, 10-minute episode without ads. So that wasn't great. Lastly, don't binge this show because it's just gonna all blur together and be very boring. But I think that should be a disclaimer for every ninja show. Guys, do not binge Ninja Warrior. You know, the reason Sasuke on G4 or Challenge was so bingeable was because it went through 4 stages in about 3 to 5 episodes, depending on the tournament, and then it cycled. And then it went through and it cycled back, and it went through and it cycled back. And so each tournament was just another chapter in the story. And that's great. That is just not what any ninja shows are anymore. It's like they haven't been that since G4 died, you know, since Challenge stopped doing that stuff too. Like, yeah, SpongeBob, make your Roblox thing. But yeah, like there are no ninja shows that are bingeable. I cannot recommend that you binge a ninja show in the 2020s, in this decade period. Please don't binge Ninja Warrior. It's actually insane. We're going to kick it back to the slideshow for number 7, which is the Sasuke Junior Cup. The Sasuke Junior Cup was a special mini-series of Ninja versus Ninja for 10 and 11-year-olds in Japan. Strong pacing overall. They really did keep the ball rolling. There were some pretty good races throughout the actual show. It introduces the next generation of Japan's competitors. I'm sure we're going to see at least 8 of these competitors on Sasuke someday when they're old enough. And the bracket itself, when they got to the bracket, was really good. There were 40 kids, and they all ran like a seeding round pretty much. And the top 16 times were put into a bracket. And then the bracket went until the championship. And when you did the top 16 onward, it was actually genuinely good. Now, for those who are fans of Sasuke and you want to see more, Tomo sponsored a kid to compete. Kano's son competed, and Hyoki's son competed. And Hyoki's son got 3rd place. Kano's son didn't make it into the bracket, but it was still cool to see. Now, the cons for this one, the first few episodes do drag due to the lack of talent. The kids just don't know how the course works. There's 40 kids. You have to narrow it down to 16. And you're going to get some kids that are just not that competitive and not that great, you know? Like I said, the bracket is where it really picks up. I don't remember what the exact episode the bracket starts in. I think it's episode 5. But I would recommend starting from the bracket if you just want to watch that. Some profile pieces do go on a tad long. and it does kind of make it obvious that they're going to go far, but ultimately it's not like that big of a nitpick. These are YouTube videos, literally. Um, and then it's just low budget. It's so low budget. And it looks that way, and you can tell that this was made to be on TV as a special, like a full on like 2 hour broadcast or something. And then TBS just said, no, we're not going to do this. This doesn't look good. And so they put it on YouTube instead. That's genuinely the vibes of this show. Um, the course is the same throughout the whole time, which is whatever. They film it in like a day, pretty much, probably. Um, at the same time, the obstacles themselves are just like fine. They're just whatever. It's good for a speed course, but it just does look low budget. And these are the obstacles that they're now using for fan meet and greets. They use them for the idol battle. I guess those are the only things that they really use them for nowadays. But like it's fine. It's just it needs more money. It needs more oomph. There's the starting line looks like garbage. The set around it, like there's no bleachers, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure literally all of the parents just kind of stand there in a mob on the sideline watching the kids race, and then you get the cameras on the other side. It's like really weird. Um so if they gave this one budget, I could see it going higher. But if not, it's not really ever getting higher than this unless stuff is really bad. Number 6, kicking off our top half of the leaderboard, Taiwan Power King, the best unlicensed Ninja Warrior show of the year. Taiwan has a lot of talent. They have some very strong ninjas. I got to meet a lot of them in Barbados this year, and I'm glad that they have Taiwan Power King as like their platform to show what they're made of. They're also Taiwan Power King overall is a it's a vibes type of show. When it's someone serious, that they're gonna shift the tone, shift the vibe to get a little more serious, to be like, all right, this is a contender to win. And then if it's someone funnier, they're gonna play it a little lighthearted, and I'm sure someone finds it funny. It's a little harder for me because I don't really get their humor, and this was one that didn't provide subtitles, so that was kind of tough. But yeah, yeah. So I would say it was pretty good. The course itself was very nice. They centered it around Taiwanese culture, which I thought was a nice spin on ninja obstacles. Um, Big credit to them for the creativity. And overall, the pacing of the episodes were pretty decent. They did have fluff pieces and pre-run interviews and a couple post-run interviews for some people, but ultimately they kept things moving along pretty quickly. I can't really complain about the pacing. The cons, though, is they do have celebrities, if you can call them that. They're essentially YouTubers or maybe like some singers or whatever. They do take away a bit of the screen time. They are the parts where the episodes drag, and that's not great. The boba tea obstacle kind of slaps. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy the boba tea obstacle. But yeah, wasn't a fan of the celebrities with the pacing. The course is probably my biggest gripe. It is the same. What is it? Pull, go around the things, lanterns, boba tea, mahjong tiles, peg mountain, spider climb. So it's the same 7 obstacles, but they buff it for the semifinals, and then they buff it again for the finals. And like, sure, that's cool. You're working with what you have. Obviously, there are budget cuts you have to work around there. Like, it's the first season. You got to work with what you got. It still is very repetitive. This is, again, where I say, like, don't... Oh, I forgot about the tops. Yes, they're not muffins, bro. They're tops. Anyways, yeah, like, this is where I would say don't binge it, because it is the same course for a while, for the entire thing. 8 obstacles, yeah. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, the ratings did pretty good. I hope they get renewed for a season 2, because I do think they will get a higher budget, and I think the course could change a little bit. I like the way they do their speed passes as well, where they randomly get tasked with 3 obstacles and you have to best 2 out of 3 them by speed. I think that's kind of interesting. And shout out to my boy Jimmy, who is the course designer and tester and one of the producers who runs the Jimmy Fit games. He is just awesome. And shout out to all of the guys that train under him. I got to meet them at Taiwan, in Barbados, Team Taiwan. They're awesome. I hope I get to go to Taiwan in the future to compete with them at the Jimmy Fit Games. And maybe in season 2 of Taiwan Power King. I think that'd be pretty cool. Number 5. All right, we're getting here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Take a wild guess. Top 5. Actually, don't. Number 5. Kunoichi 12. I have said before, one of my favorite moments of the year is after Yuko Mizuno fails stage 3 and Ayano clears. They like hug and they embrace, and it's like a passing of the torch. I love seeing the 2 generations of Kunoichi combine in this one. The Kanzen was way too easy for Ayano, but it does set up good storylines for those who timed up on stage 1, who fell on stage 1, fell on stage 3, whatever. And the Sponge Bridge is back. I will always love Sponge Bridge. It is my favorite Kunoichi obstacle. It's one of my favorite elements of the Banzuke era, period. And I'm just so glad that of all the things that they've changed in Kunoichi over the year, I'm glad that that is the one that stayed. So, yeah. Now my cons, stage 1 does take a while to get to. We talked about this yesterday. Stage 1 takes a long time to get the first clear. And then stage 2 was kind of free. It was just, it literally got 100%ed. It got swept. And that's underwhelming. But if not, I'd probably have put this one higher. But a good comeback for Kunoichi after being gone for 7 years. I gotta give it to them. Alright, number 4 is A&W 17. Things that I think they did really well. The nostalgia. Now, I said we would talk about why they filmed the nostalgia things, and yeah. Basically, budget cuts. They could only really work with what was in storage. There's some other behind-the-scenes stuff I probably shouldn't talk about. Budget cuts, NBC kind of forcing their hand with racing. And so they just decided, since we only have old obstacles, how do we make it not look lazy on our part? They said, well, let's make it a nostalgia season, a throwback season. And the whole reason they did the throwback stuff is literally just to hide the fact and cover the fact that they're losing money year after year. Should have put myself as a pro. Basically, I think they did a good job with bringing back a good amount of obstacles from the past of A&W. The amount of competitors they managed to bring back is actually crazy. And then the countdowns. I thought the countdowns were really well done. And I think they overall didn't miss with a lot of the countdowns. I thought there were some really good races in there. And then honestly, let's be real, guys. The qualifiers and semifinals were good episodes. They were good episodes. 9 straight episodes of, I'm not going to say heat or whatever, but they were good. They were not bad. They were not bad TV at all. There were some good runs. You saw returning people ranging from even the episode I was in. Philip Scott came back. He had been gone for 4 seasons. He was barely in season 13 when he was shown. He hits his buzzer, right? He hits his buzzer with Ethan. Shout out Ethan in the chat. And then in the same episode, Rob Moravsky's back. And yeah, he doesn't do well, but it's still Rob Moravsky coming back. That's so wild. It is crazy. William Spartan Brown and Nicholas Coolidge buzzers in 2025. Yes, Evan, exactly. No, this was genuinely a good, it was a good qualifiers and semifinals run. It really was. You had Taylor and Isabella clearing semis. Jesse Graff almost clearing semis. That was so heartbreaking there. Yeah. I also love, oh, that's right. They were a different group. Yes. Or same group, different episodes. I also love that this kind of ends the debate of, oh, well, the current A&W stars wouldn't do well on the older obstacles. The older obstacles are so much harder. The subreddit can shut up now because they are just literally wrong and they saw that. They were so wrong. Um, yeah, yeah. The subreddit is dumb. Akbar's not getting replaced. Yo, no, Donovan falling upside down from the invisible ladder was crazy. I'm on Reddit and they can be stupid sometimes. 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 Okay. That's very kind of you. Um the cons of ANW 17, I just didn't really vibe with the finale too much. Like I said in yesterday's stream, it was just very repetitive with the lack of course changes and the jumpy editing. It was just really, really tough to get behind. If the finale was better, I think I would have put this at number 1 or 2. Genuinely. The finale is what ultimately drags this down. But going 9 for like 13 on episodes overall is a good sign. Like, that's a good percentage for Ninja Warrior seasons. Like, a very good percentage for Ninja Warrior seasons. Like, if we go back to Germany, bro, Germany had like 7 qualifiers, a special, 2 semis, and 2 finals episodes. And I think I thoroughly enjoyed like 4 of those 12 episodes or whatever it is. Like, it wasn't, this is 9. Like, this is why it's higher. So like, yeah, number 4, ANW 17. Um Number 3 is gonna be Sasuke 43. I think some of you guys expected this to be number 2 or number 1. Man, the Austin Barron love is hilarious. So, stage 1's fails were very refreshing to see. In a world where we just keep repeatedly getting stage 1 clear after clear after clear after clear, stage 1 was a good breath of fresh air. Yusuke also was just he carried the back half of this tournament on his he put this tournament on his back. The final, I was surprised he didn't win. I think a lot of us were surprised he didn't win. You guys should also watch the Yusuke doc. SpongeBob, that is factually incorrect. The World Round, again, international fan in me. I was very happy about the World Round. I will always be happy about the World Round. And I think the World Round saved the pacing of the 2-day broadcast schedule. Yeah. Yeah. Without the World Round, this tournament's pacing would have sucked across 2 days, 100%. Now, again, I'm just going to reiterate here. Stage 2, going 10 for 12 isn't great. Stage 3 isn't great either. It's fine. It's nice that we did have some swing edge fails, and it's nice that the swing edge fails were people that we weren't expecting to fail there. It was surprising in that regard. But again, like, without Yusuke, stage 3 would kind of have sucked. Like, it would have been really sucky. And I can't put this at number 1 just because of one person, just because of Yusuke, After stage 1, the editing also drags. And I don't think that they do a great job with the editing and the promotion of certain people, of anyone, really, except for Caillou Nagano, because the profile with Caillou Nagano before he runs stage 3 is gas. Yuta, they do a good job with him. Nakashima. They do a decent job with Miyaoka's profile, and then Yusuke. Like, I don't know. Josh Levin, I really hope he does come back. He deserves another shot, and I think he could beat the Dimension. To be determined on how he does against the Burst, But I think he could beat Dimension. He got close this year. He did get close. So that's number 3. Number 2 is Ninja Warrior France Season 9. First off, this is the last one on the list that brought in internationals. I'm so happy about international representation and seeing a clash of the world. All these crossovers are so exciting. The internationals raced in the semifinals, and all of the semifinals races were pretty dang good. The finale was also very satisfying with a mix of French and international superstars making it to, stage 3 or the final, with a lot of women making stage 3 as well. It was kind of crazy. And then the pacing overall was pretty solid. They would do like 2 profile pieces back to back, and it does take some time. it takes a little while sometimes depending on who it is. But then you get right into the action, and the races are worth it. Like the payoff is there. It's worth it. Now, with that said, there are some cons. Some of the qualifiers races were not good. They ended very early, like on the second or third obstacle. And I hate to say it, but the women's races were not good because besides like 3 French women, there's not a lot of talent from the women in France. So a lot of the women's races ended very early. And some of the men's races also ended on the second or third obstacle. That wasn't great at all. But it's not a very consistent problem. They're just moments that happen in between each episode. Every episode has those moments. It's not the end of the world. But when they do happen, it does make some of the profile pieces feel like a waste of time. Really disappointing for you. Interesting. There is a lack of French stars because of the controversy from season 8. No Clément Gravier, no Charles Poujaud, Jean Tezenos retired, no Matthias this season. It was surprising. So like, you really only had Ilian and Mikel Lajic, who isn't even really a ninja, and Kasim El Kefi. So like, that's cool. And then stage 1 being a qualifier and stage 2 not having a time limit, I'm going to be so for real, guys. If stage 1 and stage 2 were regular stages and had time limits, this would be number 1. That is all it would take for it to be number 1. But it's such an egregious step away from the format that it's number 2. No Nicolas Sarquant as well, yeah. I'd love to hear what our French friend in the chat, not Lillian, thought of Ninja Warrior France 9 and why it was disappointing for them. Because I quite enjoyed it as someone who's watching everything, and I'm getting but I take a step back and I see the whole world, Yeah, Clash of Nations having the same controversy, it really did take out a lot of France's stars, which is very unfortunate. That's valid. I mean, it's not for everyone. The thing is about season 9 and a little bit of season 8 because of the format. Season 9 steps in such a different direction from every other season of Ninja Warrior France, which is hilarious because they have new rules every season. It's just so there's a good chance that Ninja Warrior France 9 just might not be for you, and that's understandable. I completely understand that. You might prefer seasons 3 through 6, or 3 through 5, because I enjoy 3 through 5 personally. It's really good, but they do consider Clash of Nations as its own season. Not even bothering with it. It's a special. So I'm excited for season 10 next year. I'm curious as to what's going to happen with it, especially since number 1, a French person did not win the prize. Number 2, Renee put a time up the rope that is super difficult to beat. And number 3, Renee is retired, supposedly. So, like, what even is going to happen now? It's going to be wild. But with that said, number 2, Ninja Warrior France 9, if they fixed stages 1 and 2, it would have been number 1. Which means number 1, the number 1 ninja show of 2025 is Kunoichi 13. And I talked about this one. It was Kunoichi 13 on the finales one yesterday. Here we are again. I think the clear rates were very solid. I love that stage 2 is improved upon. I think stage 1 is improved upon with the prism. You still get some time ups. You still get some shock fails. You get some improvements. Stage 2 really hit people where it needed to be hit. And I think that was great. Stage 3 took out a couple people. And the crazy cliffhanger gave us 2 peak moments, especially with Mai Watanabe. The final was just underwhelming. I would have preferred, I would have loved to have seen someone make it to the rope. Unfortunately, that's just not how it is. If someone had made it to the rope, I probably would have given this like a 9.5 out of 10. There are some mid cuts that are kind of whatever. but I kept this the same as yesterday's because it's like it's the same stuff. Kunoichi 13, again, I will say, I believe is a top 5 Kunoichi tournament of all time. I prefer 5 and 7. I prefer Kunoichi 3. I would put it on par with Kunoichi 6. And I would knock Kunoichi 4 out of the top 5. That's my personal take. I not only think this is the best modern day Kunoichi era tournament, this is top 5 Kunoichi of all time. It just is. Like, yeah. I think you can argue that it's better than 6. I don't think it's top 3 of all time. Yeah, I'll watch your Sasuke 43 review. Just throw it on my Discord or something, or however you can reach me. Yeah. Like, it really is unfortunate because, like, France 9, good tournament. 43, pretty decent tournament, right? ANW 17, good episodes minus the finale. Like, these are good. These are genuinely good seasons overall. You throw them in, like, B tier, throw them in low A tier. This is like a borderline S tier tournament for me. Like, high A tier, low S tier. You put all these other shows in here, the bad, the decent, the really good. You threw in an all-time Kunoichi tournament. And it just kind of isn't even fair, in my opinion. So, yeah. Thanks for joining the chat, Lillian. I love that you provided your insight on Ninja Warrior France. Always great to hear different perspectives. Hope TF1 decides to broadcast the 10th season. It'll be good. I hope so. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to Lillian. If America did a Kunoichi, I mean, just slightly buff or slightly nerf the 4 stages, and that's great. The problem is we're never going to get that. I think the best thing we'll get is maybe they'll throw some people, some internationals onto stage 1. We'll never know. I feel like Addie Herman might actually have a shot at getting on, because when she was promoted in the world round, she was promoted as American Kunoichi champion or something like that. Like, it was so funny. And, like, if that's how they're acknowledging it, I could totally see them being like, the American Kunoichi champion is on Kunoichi in Japan. Now, do I think that Addie Herman would absolutely obliterate the course? Absolutely. She can salmon ladder. She can salmon ladder better than anyone else in Japan out of the women. So, I think the sponge bridge is a very failable obstacle for her, but if not, she Kanzens. So do I think they would do that? No. Not yet. But do I think that could happen eventually? Yes. Yeah. Now, we do have a special part 2. I'm very excited for this one. You guys get to guess what's going on here. We are doing awards. If you guys like this, I will bring it back. I will bring it back next year. And if you guys have more ideas for awards, I will absolutely add them in future years. But we're going to give different ninja shows different awards based off of, again, my opinion. So this is subjective. Yeah. So, first things... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait. No. Did I not throw in the slide where I, like, preface the... Oh, well, that's annoying. Okay, let me just delete that. Hopefully you guys didn't fully see that. Okay, so... Yo, Nora on there would be crazy. Nora on Kunoichi would be crazy. Okay, so the first award is for the best course of 2025. This isn't necessarily the best course based off of results or how it's balanced on the show. This is just what course is the coolest, best course objectively here. Nora Brown-John, Canadian ninja. She's amazing. One of the, arguably, not even that arguably either, the best female ninja in the world. If anyone would like to guess what the best course of 2025 is, in my opinion, go ahead, throw it in the chat. This one should be kind of easy. Radium says Super Ninja. Germany International Round. Ooh. You mean the anniversary? Yeah, Topaz already saw it. Yeah, you guys already saw it mostly. It is the Super Ninja 4 qualifier course. Um, Genuinely, yes. This was the coolest course. The problem with this course isn't the way it's made or what the obstacles are or how tough they are. It kind of is how tough they are. The reason there was such little success is because this is very much a pro level course, not for pro level ninjas. Like the Russian ninjas and a lot of the internationals they invited, they do well. But I would argue that a lot of the ninjas there were not pros, and the pros, a lot of them ran in the rain, so that's just very unfortunate. But ultimately, like, this was the best course of the year, and it really wasn't even close. They cook so hard with the obstacles. What do you mean hazard cones into high road, and if you miss high road, you do rolling escargot? That's cool as heck. That's really cool. Timed water walls, but as you spin the wheel on the last water wall, it lowers a rope for you to climb to the buzzer. That's cool. Rope swing into a travelator, into bear traps and stuff like that, into deja vu bear trap stuff. That's cool as heck. Yeah, no, I love this course. I really do. It's just unfortunate that it was for this specific, like, this should be like an NSC finals. Anyways, best course of the year goes to Super Ninja 4. Qualifiers. Best obstacle. The best obstacle of this year. Could be new or returning. It could be because of the impact it had, or because of how cool it is, or whatever else. Throw some guesses in there. Mad Hatter. Okay. Monstro Swing 2019. Log Grip. Prism Tilts. Okay. I agree. If you brought in like NSC quality people, you would see some clears on the qualifiers. Prism Tilt, Block. A lot of people say Prism. Not a bad guess. I will say my honorable mention is to the Prism, only because of how many people it took out. I don't think it's going to take out as many people of the notable names next year, but whatever. Block. No, I don't like block. So best obstacle of 2025 is the floating safe from Super Ninja Season 4. The floating safe is dope as heck. Are you kidding me? So you swing from this bar. You can put your hands in this little red ledge, and you have to climb up to this barrel. You cannot touch this barrel at all. You have to dive, grab this red bar, and it swings. You lachey out to this cliffhanger. You use cliffhangers on the bottom and sides here around the perimeter of the cube to rotate it, open a door where you have to grab a ring, and then dismount. This is amazing. This is an amazing obstacle, okay? It's amazing. And as Evan said, this is from a league as well. This is a league obstacle in a legitimate ninja show. This is not an NSC obstacle. Alright, it's not an NSC obstacle. It would fit on an NSC course though. This is from Team Ninja Association's qualifier at Jungle Gym. This obstacle was designed by Caleb Bergstrom, at least the barrel part. This part, not Caleb Bergstrom. This part, Caleb Bergstrom. So shout out Caleb Bergstrom. That's really cool. This is by far like the coolest. It's dynamic. It works your grip. It works your technique. It works heights. It looks awesome on TV. It really is just that freaking cool. Best obstacle of the year. It's not even close. It's not even close. So, yeah. Floating safe. Shout out to them. The best run of 2025. What was the best run of 2025? Don't just name a competitor. You got to name what course it was on. Qualifiers, semis, stage 1, 2, and 3, final, racing, whatever. Take a guess. Yusuke, specifically stage 3. Choose yourself. Pants Guy 43, stage 1. Yo, crazy. You can associate Caleb Bergstrom with Super Ninja. Yes. Kane Casillas qualifiers. I'm dead. I'm dead. Caillou stage 2 clear. That's a good one. That is a good one. I don't really have honorable mentions for this one. There were some really strong runs throughout the year. You guys are naming some of those runs. Seeing Nagano-san clear stage 2 was awesome. Noxa absolutely tore up semis this year. Yuri Prokudin's run in the finals of Super Ninja this year is probably second place. Because he was the only person to clear that course. He did it with like 2-3 seconds left. It was crazy. Ultimately, the best run of Ninja Warrior in 2025. You guys guessed it. Yusuke Morimoto clearing stage 3 in Sasuke 43. Talk about dominance. Dominance on a course. Yusuke tore that up. He absolutely deserves this title. He made the burst look easy. He made the dimension look easy. He took it to the final stage. Like, that was awesome. He broke the record for most amount of stage 3 clears worldwide ever. He is that guy. He is just him. So, yeah, big shout out to Yusuke, because this was cold as heck. This was awesome. So, yeah, that's our third of 5 awards. Number 4, the best return. I'm excited for this one. I want you guys to guess. There were a lot of athletes who came back, whether it was after a year of injury, 3 years, 4 years, 12 years, whatever it is. They made their comebacks to Ninja Warrior. This is very much subjective based off of my opinion. I'm seeing Josh Levin, Kim Marshner, Nicholas Coolridge, Tim Champion, Kawaguchi. I mean, I guess Kawaguchi did kind of have a comeback, but I didn't count him. Okay, so William Brown or Nicholas Coolridge or Okitani Mitsuhiro, Pants Guy. So I have this is the one where I have the most honorable mentions by far. Yusuf, Happy New Year. Thanks so much for tuning in. You've been one of the most like active chatters throughout the year. I appreciate you, man. You're awesome. Because I didn't think about Kawaguchi, Ninja Gamer. I didn't think about Kawaguchi because he didn't, it's not like he took a break. It's just he had a return to, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to list off the honorable mentions here. Josh Levin is an honorable mention. All right, Josh Levin in Sasuke 43. Ayako Miyake returning for Kunoichi 13. That was huge for me. That was a big one. And the fact that none of y'all said that is kind of crazy. The fact that you guys all just collectively forgot Ayako Miyake came back because she failed Fishbone is like kind of insane. There were a lot of A&W returns. I'm not really going to specify some, but William Brown and Nicholas Coolridge hitting buzzers. Nicholas Coolridge making the group stage is kind of crazy. That was, so Nicholas Coolridge, I guess we get the honorable mention, but even then, like, being on set and meeting Rob Moravsky and meeting Mac Rush, the king of obstacles, Idoko Abu coming back is wild. Philip Scott making a return is pretty sick, you know? Like, a lot of A&W people definitely deserve the shout out. Yuri Prokudin technically coming back because he took 2 seasons off of Super Ninja. That's a comeback. That was a good one too. Derek Nakamoto and Curtis Tran coming back. 2 more big returns. Yeah, like there were a lot of comebacks this year.